Three, two, one. Hello, this is the latest podcast, Elite Manager Game World podcast. Originally, this was meant to be a sort of a Christmas special that Scoper was going to bring on with some former managers. That seemingly has changed last minute. Obviously, so what we've done is we haven't done a podcast in about 4 weeks. So instead, we're just going to do a regular podcast, which will be the last one of 2024. So I'm joined by, obviously, myself, Greg, Real Madrid, Cape Town City, Al Nasser, and now Chivas Guadalajara manager. I'm joined by Babajide, who is Barcelona, Mazembe, Belouizdad, and Santos manager. And our guest today, hopefully one of our guests, is Ucee, the manager of Arsenal in Main World. Welcome, Ucee. Ucee, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good. It's good to get you on. Obviously, we've not actually had you. We had you on the old pre-game, post-game result show we used to do last year on WhatsApp, but it's the first time we've had you on as a guest on the podcast for EMG. Obviously, as well, it's quite good as well because you're doing really well this season in D1 with Arsenal currently.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Okay, so first topic of discussion today is, we have a new game. Obviously, has been, as previous podcasts, you would have heard a promotion for Elite Managers Game World Americas. Well, that officially started about 3 weeks ago now, and we're actually 2 games into the season 1. So a 48-team game world with 3 leagues of 16 and teams across from CONCACAF and CONMEBOL, or North and South America, were set up. Sort of slightly different to MENA and Africa, where and a bit of sort of copied in from Road to Glory, Joe Pound's Game World, where the weakest teams, the smallest clubs, are in Division 3, and then the best teams, your big teams in North and South America, are in Division 3, just to give those smaller sides money from SMFA and better prize money. There's some interesting builds so far, and obviously one of the key rules that differentiate it from other game rules is clubs are only allowed 3 players over the age of 33. Now, this is based off age at the start of the season, so if a player is 32 and turns 33, they're not counted. It's only at the start of each season. And a further, and also as well, just normal, squad cap of 30, concerns to be sold externally, etc. But obviously the 3 players over 33 and over being the key differentiation between other EMG game modes and LOE. So far, so good. Briefly, it's hard to discuss about a new game world when it's 2 games in, but Viltop Nacional are currently first ahead of Atletico Nacional. JJ's down in 10th with New England Revolution. And then the bottom 4 currently is Dallas Sporting KC, Penarel, and DC United. Division 2, Montreal Impact, atop ahead of Santos and Seattle Sounders, who are in the over promotion spots. And then the bottom 4 is Fizzes, Cruz Azul, UNAM Pumas, Atalanta United, and Vancouver Whitecaps. Division 3 is I'm leading, Chivas Guadalajara, with River Plate and Racing Club in 2nd and 3rd, and Davian is in last. Obviously, you'll see more mentions of EMG Americas in the future, but obviously, welcome to the newest EMG game world. Right, on to Main World. So Obviously, a lot has happened since the last podcast, which was about 4 or 5 weeks ago now. Obviously, we are now 16 games into the season. We're at the second half, into the second half of the season now. Just wait for my computer to load up. Yep, there we go. So, obviously, Ucee is currently in first. He hasn't actually lost a game yet. Ucee, how do you think your season's gone so far?
Um, I think it's good. I don't know. I'm just trying to just win, just win all the matches, innit? Just try it. Then once I can't win, at least get a draw, innit? So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just trying not to lose and maybe see if I could win the ties of the season. I don't know.
yeah, and
Trying.
obviously also as well, you won your second trophy in 4 years, the first Game World exclusive trophy in the EMG Cup a couple of weeks ago, beating Lazio. Um, Obviously, so congratulations on that. Obviously, you've won 10, drawn 6, not lost a game so far. Looking potentially to be the first, I think, EMG team to go undefeated. Obviously, you're being closely trailed 3 points behind by Fizz's Liverpool. So some of us will be hoping you sort of win the title, so we don't have noise pollution from, as we say, from a certain Mr. Laramo, because we won't hear the end of it if he wins the title.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, ironically, a bit like Arsenal's Invincibles, quite a few draws, but no defeats. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm just trying to see if I could manage to secure. Although the transfer windows has been shitty, I won't lie. It's hard to get players right now, and I'm just trying to see if I could help out with my squad, especially in the attacking aspect. I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna try my best.
Yeah.
See what it is.
Um, yeah. Obviously, that's another thing that's obviously come in as of Thursday. That just started Thursday. The much anticipated trade deadline passed on Thursday. We did actually see quite a few deals get done on Thursday. Actually, some of them were done for this season. Others were done more for next season. I know. Let me just go check the newsfeed chat now. But specifically, if I look back on Thursday, we had on Wednesday, actually, the day before the deadline, we had quite a few, and Tuesday actually more as well. We had quite a few deals get done. The big one being Atletico Madrid selling Phil Foden to Flamengo for João Felix and Grimaldo. Also, as well, them signing Cole Palmer from Sevilla, selling Reece James, Havertz, and Alphonso Davis.
That was
The
crazy.
revamp Atletico Madrid. Yeah. Also, I think was there another deal? Yeah, another one was Wolves selling Mkhitaryan to Betis, Consa to Monaco, and signing Brian Hill and Christopher Wu. And obviously, as well, also announcing that John Stones will go to Barcelona for Pulisic next season as a pre-agreed deal. I think the trade deadline probably will see a lot more deals be sort of pre-agreed deals where long term we'll see guys who selling players to go after the trade deadline hits for next season. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I think the big deals were obviously Atletico and Wolves. And if you look at it, Wolves are in sort of they're 4 points above sixth. So they're in the Champions Cup, but obviously I think they maybe want to push for the SMFA Champions Cup in the game world and obviously secure that top 5 finish. Atletico, bit of a revamp, but I think also as well they've won their last 2 games, but they're in a surprising relegation scrap down the bottom. So obviously it's maybe clearing some dead weight to get some quality in to hopefully get themselves out of relegation, and then obviously as well Betis and Monaco picking up some players. Betis obviously are in a promotion charge, and Monaco are in a mid-table in Division 3. So I think I think it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. What are your thoughts on the trade deadline and transfer window?
Well, it's quite good. Like, I don't know, but at the same time, it looks insane. Like the whole Atletico Madrid transfer deal, it was crazy, to be honest. Like, I never saw that type of transfer. I've never seen that. I haven't seen that transfer done. That kind of transfer done in ages. Like that was
Yeah,
like a long time, because now people like stingy with your players and try and do shit like that. No, I mean, we've got Fizz, the Liverpool manager, who's been
yeah,
psyching people. Trying to see if he could scrap out some big deals or big players for whatever place he's got left, or he's got to release or something like that, which is crazy. But I don't know. But yeah, I think it's okay. To me, it's okay. But the deal was crazy though. Yeah, especially with the Atletico Madrid deal. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Atletico deal. Atletico are a club who they're the best squad overall in all of the EMG and not just this game world. They're a
Yeah.
team who have had a very poor season and have got some players that obviously probably they need to get rid of that either aren't going to increase or are just going to decline. I mean, Reece James has barely played any football in real life anyway, so and I
Yeah.
know Jonesy's obviously a big Chelsea fan. It's probably a case of move on there. And Havertz was on level one concerns, so obviously there was a bit of a fear with him going to level two and being sold for cash and then being picked up by some D3 team. So obviously he's got João Felix and Grimaldo. Felix is not playing a lot, and Grimaldo's a solid left back. And obviously bringing in Cole Palmer being the key figure for them. It'd be interesting to see how they do with those players. But yeah, we're just going to
Well,
see
for
how
me,
long
I
term
do.
this.
Yeah, for me, I do.
Yeah,
I
go on.
don't think that maybe the whole lot of squad he got probably is the reason why he's not doing so well, because he might be actually confused with, you know, the whole players. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So when you've got a squad like that, it's hard to get everybody minutes and the right formation. I know
Yeah.
one thing that I've said previously, and some people ignore it, especially in the pre-season predictions podcast back in November, when some people were just saying the best teams would be, is you can have the best players, but if you don't set them up tactically right, it's set up to fail. I mean, the best example is Neri a couple of years ago. He had all those stars, got relegated, you know, and he was playing 3-4-4 a lot of the season, and just couldn't get a formation to fit that team, and he went down.
Yeah.
Nobody's
The same
immune
thing
to
happened with
relegation.
Fizz as well. The same thing happened with Fizz as well.
Yeah, Fizz has had two seasons where he's come 11th. There was that season about 18 months ago now, 12 months ago, where he just scraped survival. And then last season, he stayed up and he was in a relegation scrap and put himself on holiday mode, which fucked it up for him. And
Uh,
uses the excuse today that he was on holiday mode, but he won the league in May there on holiday mode. So maybe it's I mean it's just a stupid thing to do. But yeah, I mean there's a couple of teams who have had seasons where they've just survived. I think Atletico a couple of years ago had a poor start one season and actually um, finished. I think they qualified for the Challenge Cup. Actually, they didn't even make the Champions Cup that year, which was back when it was top six. It was easier to qualify for. They had a bad, poor season. We were in a relegation scrap. PSG have been down there before and are down there sort of now. Barcelona are down sort of in that middle. But
yeah.
yeah, no, there's teams in Division Two that should be doing better, but they're not as well. So you can have a brilliant squad, but if you don't set them up correctly or don't, if you can have ratings, but if it's not a team, it's not going to work. On to the Division 1 standings. So Arsenal are first on 36 points. Liverpool are second, 3 points behind them on 33. Then Napoli, Wolves, and Dortmund are in the final three Champions Cup spots, third, fourth, and fifth. Then the four Challenge Cup spots, we've got PSG sixth, Rennes seventh, Barca eighth, and Lazio in ninth. Flamengo sit 10th, which currently will be a Cup Winners' Cup spot. Milan are in 11th, so the final team not to qualify for a Connect Cup. And then the relegation spots are Man City, Atletico, and Tottenham. Division 2, my Real Madrid lead in first place on 31. JJ's Betis is 3 points behind on 28 points. Then the playoffs, the Challenge Cup spots are Lyon, Everton, Benfica, and Bilbao. Then in the mid-table, we've got Atalanta 7th, Porto 8th, Real Sociedad 9th, Inter 10th, Mönchengladbach 11th. And then the bottom three, we've got Aston Villa, Villarreal, and Bayern. And then finally, in Division 3, we have Ajax, Chelsea in the top two. There's Ajax are on 33, Chelsea are on 32. Then a bit of a gap back to third place Juventus on 26, and then the final three playoffs and Challenge Cup spots are Crystal Palace, Man United, and Roma. And then the rest of Division 3, Leipzig are on 22 in 7th, Monaco 8th. There is Leverkusen on 9th, Sevilla 10th, Valencia 11th, Lille 12th, Marseille 13th, and then the Leicester City Portuguese team place. And obviously Division 4, the new season's just started. But obviously as well, Division 4 recently finished since the last podcast. And Celtic, who were managed by Ninest at the time, more about him in a minute, they secured the Division 4 title, just pipping out Jonesy's Zenit and Jabril's Gothenburg to that title. As for Division 4, so we've had a couple of managerial changes. So first one, as mentioned just then, Ninest, he, after a very brief 2 months, returned to SM. He quit because he didn't like the fact that if he got promoted, he would take a quote-unquote shit team. He couldn't have the balls to manage Marseille or Lille or Bilbao or a pretty bad Division 3 team. I think he thought he would get the PSG job or a big team job. But no, we don't give those jobs to Division 4 managers. And because he said he would refuse, we said, well, there's no point in being here then. And he quit. So, yeah, Celtic, obviously, because of that, there was a post that was free, and that was taken by a guy called John, who's a West Brom fan. He is in a couple of other game mods, and he took the Celtic job. And then there was two further managerial changes in Division 4. Jabril stood down for Gothenburg, just cutting back on his teams, and Abin Abraham took them over. And then finally, Babajide did the same, stood back from Division 4. So there's only 3 admins now in Division 4. And Young Boys now managed by Big Emmy, or Emu, or Emmanuel I think his name is Pavelli or something like that. The former Roma manager and FAO Rabat manager in Mena. He returned. He was actually one of the originals to get sacked in that first month when we had the message criteria. He made a return to EMG and so far looks pretty active. And yeah, he's gone and taken Young Boys Burn in Division 4. Obviously, their new season starts now. So it'll be interested to see who is going to do well in Division 4. Some pretty confident managers down there. I think they could have a good season, some good ones as well. And, some are only going to be there for a bit until spots in main will get available, and others probably be there for the season if they're active enough. So yeah. What I was going to ask, Uch, is who do you think will be the league winners in Division 1, 2, and 3, and who do you think will get relegated in? Oh, actually, no. What I'll ask is, who do you think's had a good start so far to the season? And who do you think might be in a bit of relegation trouble?
Um, well, I think
You still there? I think Uche is having some technical difficulties.
can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, it's sort of cut out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just thinking I'm
Good.
having some little bit of network difficulties or something like that. Okay, so I was saying Napoli, yeah, they're doing well this season though. I don't know. Yeah, I think yeah, they're doing all right. We also got Liverpool, yeah, which was surprising. Yeah, but yeah, it's not like it's what it's supposed to be. Just that I don't know. He's had a shitty season for the past like was it 2 years now or 2 seasons now? Yeah, I think.
Oh no, it's been about 6 seasons or 4 or 5 seasons. About six. Basically, Fizz has been average since he last won the league, which was about. Let me just check now, but I swear that was like season 9, so that's like 6 seasons ago. But he's he's basically been in his Arsene Wenger phase of coming fourth every year with Arsenal. Like Arsene
That's
Wenger
true.
did, Liverpool always come like sixth, just make the Champions Cup, and then lose in the first round to someone like PSG or someone or Al Shabab,
Yeah.
or not make it. That was the last time I lose to a Division 3 Legends of Europe team. And then let me just check now, but he hasn't had a good season like he has having now for quite a number of years. He's massively underperformed. And it'd be good. He said he was going to come on today, so it'd be good to. Well, he'd just he won't he would just make excuses. He hasn't done well, but
No,
yeah, it'd be
I ain't
he
gonna
has
think
had.
it. I'm just gonna do his thing, not much.
Put it this way: since he last won Liverpool last won the title in season 9, so that was about nearly 2 years ago now. Since then, Ren have won it 3 times, and then PSG have won it, and then um, Atletico won it. He has come season 10. He came 11th, just survived by a point. Season 11, he came. Where did he come? 5th. So just really made the Champions Cup. Season 12, he came 5th again. Season 13, he came 4th. So it's a very small improvement. And then season 14, he came 11th. So he's had 2 5ths, 2 11ths, and a 4th. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is his best season about since he last won the league, which was 6 seasons ago. So it's well done, Fizz. You're
Yeah.
finally living up to your standards of your team.
I swear to
You still sold Palmer for pennies for Kabasi and that some kid called Prestiani, who I don't even know who he is, but apparently is some kid. I don't know. So yeah, anyone you think might be in risk of getting relegated from Division 1?
well, Tottenham for sure is like they're leaving. I don't know. Unless if there's any hope though. But for them, I don't know. I think probably AC Milan. Um,
Mm.
yeah. Well, for sure, I'm just for real. I know that maybe Tottenham's going. And, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think Atletico Madrid still have time. They're still gonna pull back up, and yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so Tottenham actually haven't won in their last. The last time Tottenham won was 28th of November. So they haven't won in a. They've lost their last 8 games. Really, and obviously looking, they've got PSG next, which is a big game. Wolves probably a loss. Atletico's a big game, but likely a loss. There's a lot of games there that are probably they're going to struggle to get points in, and I think it looks like they're going to swiftly go back to Division One. I mean,
Division
Atletico, I think will be fine. I think this could be the year that Man City go down. Now, sort of, obviously, it's still an older team.
Obviously, in a former Bally team, but there's a lot of players.
There's players there.
There's players there that there's
like
but there's what, two.
Yeah.
9 players.
9 players that are
over 90.
Over 90.
There's a lot of
the squad is
older,
and I think there's better teams in Division 1, and I think Rezzanino's got a bit of a short straw here taking that job. After to Juventus, and
they're going to go down.
Yeah, they are going to go down for sure. Oh my god! But what the hell happened with the whole increase and decrease thing? This season was crazy because I don't understand though. Like back to back, we got on red arrows down from different places. I don't know. It's been crazy, and yeah, I think from next season I'm gonna just try like to see how to set up my team because yeah, obviously if you've seen it for yourself, I've got some red arrows as well. So
yeah,
fuck
I mean
yeah.
your squad, I mean it's obviously a very loaded, rating heavy squad. There are some players that are probably getting on a bit. Gundogan being 34, and I think if looks like he's way past his prime now. But a couple of Man City players there that are just not having a good season at all. Kyle Walker. Enough said about him. Though I think there's a few players in your team that you're probably going to have to look to get rid of for younger options, potentially slightly lower ratings as well, before they just go even worse. But yeah, no, I mean it's like PSG a couple of years ago. You may as well take the title this year before potentially getting hit even more by arrows. I mean, you've had what 1, 2. You've had 3 players this cycle get a drop, but you've also had quite a few rises. You've had 5, right? Marc Cucurella rose up to a 91. A couple of youngsters increase. So you have had rises, but obviously there's those key players which are all starters being hit by red arrows. I think Man City last time back in the summer they got brutally hit when Moses was there. By the red arrows, and he sort of did an okay job just to sort it out in the end. But obviously, you don't want too many of them because it'll just completely fuck your team up.
Yeah.
I mean, as for also as well for Division 2, I think it's looking. Any thoughts on who you think will go up from Division 2 this year as well, and who will go down? Sure. I think he's having some network issues. Obviously, whilst that gets sorted, I think we will have a look at. I think we will obviously briefly. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I think you, obviously, Real Madrid and Real Betis, and the following one, the third one, definitely they're gonna come up and they're gonna make it to the Division 1. I'm not so sure about the relegation zone though, because I don't want to really go down that part though. It's quite confusing. But yeah, we've got like Bayern and Villarreal. Yeah, definitely going down to the third division. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Bayern Munich had a
well this season though. You've been doing really well this season. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Obviously, we've managed to get that front 4-2-4 working with Di Maria, Gyökeres, Dolvik, and Nunez, and they scoring loads of goals. In fact, most goals in the whole game in the whole Division 2. We are quite leaky at the back, but we are outscoring teams. Betis are going to be a real pain to play, and I think we got them actually in a couple of weeks. We've got Villarreal, which hopefully is a win. We've actually got my former two former. We've actually got my two former clubs in the next week. We've got Villarreal on Sunday and Villa on Thursday. Two teams in drop zone, which hopefully is 6 points. But we got Lyon, Bilbao, and Betis in 3 of the 4 games after that, going up towards the end of the season. So it's those are going to be key games. I think we've played Everton, but I think if we can get past he doesn't play Harambol anymore at the 5-4-1-B. But if he does, I can't not say that he might just play it just to piss somebody off. But if we could get past Betis, Lyon are also surprised, having a good season in third. They've had a few seasons previously where they've finished in the playoffs and made the playoff final a few times and lost. They could be a bit of a dark horse and spoil it for myself and Mr. JJ. They haven't lost actually when did Lyon last lose a game? So they last lost 5th of December of one, unbeaten in their last 6. Betis last lost quite a while ago actually. When did Real Betis last lose? 1st of December to me, so that's when their last loss. Other than that, they've had 1 defeat since the middle of November when they lost to Atalanta. So yeah, I think Lyon and Betis seemingly are the 2 dark contenders to Real Madrid. Everton is still there; they've got the players, but there seems to be a bit of inconsistency. Obviously, Bojan's 3-time D1 winner. So, you'd expect him to know his way to win in EMG, but there's a bit of inconsistency with the team. You can see they've lost 3 of their last 6, but only won 2 of them. And they are 4 points. They're 2 points off second, but they're also 4 points out of missing the playoffs, which, I mean, you sort of, if you're Bojan, you want to be thinking, oh, can we, we need to kick on and get some consistency because we're going to get left behind and lose out on automatics. And they don't want to be in a situation where I was in last year, where it was me contending with Barcelona, Flamengo, and Benfica. And myself and Benfica just got cut adrift, and I just ended up coming third, 4 or 5 points ahead of Saskid. But, playoffs is a total it could be a total crapshoot, or whether they say where it's just totally could be anyone. I mean, you can be Everton and lose to Bilbao or that 6th place team or 5th place team. So if you're Bojan, you'll be wanting to get some consistency under the belt, because otherwise they're gonna not get promoted or have to do it the hard route for the playoffs, which is not easy. Let's take a breath. And as for the bottom 3, I think the two of the teams are already down. Bayern massively overperformed last season. They are not wasted a lot of money on pretty average players, but they're 10 points away from safety now with 10 games to go. It's going to take a miracle for them to stay up. And then Villarreal, gift wherever he goes, he gifts points to. Pardon the pun, but he gift points to his opposition. Villarreal have had a good few spell of seasons of short-term builds. Joe Prost have got them up to D3. Then a season later, Ahmed Ali got them to Division 2 before leaving Man City. Then Sensational One got them relegated from Division 1, but they fought really hard. Then he got promoted back to Division 1 as champions in Division 2. And then Gift took over halfway through last season and they collapsed and they got relegated. And then this season, 1 win, 8 draws, 7 defeats. Not good enough. And I think both those teams would struggle in Division 3 as well. There's no quality there. Interestingly, actually, the 3 teams that come down from Division 1 last season, they're all in a relegation scrap in Division 2. One of them being your former club, Mönchengladbach. Do you think we're seeing a lot of these teams that have sort of hit a cycle, maybe have looked to have gone for a title and then just collapsed maybe, and rating drops hitting them hard and it's affected them? Can you hear me? Obviously it'd be interesting to see. Unfortunately, I think it's between Villa and Gladbach, and I think Villa might be the one that goes down. Obviously, 2 of my former clubs in the drop zone. It's sad to see Villa down there. They obviously had 4 seasons of Division 1, overachieved massively back then to, built their way stabilized in Division 1 before relegation. But, Oh, can you hear me?
I'm still surprised at that club. Swear to God.
Yeah, I was saying about before I was mentioning Villa, 3 of the Division 1 teams that got relegated last year are all battling to stay in the league in Division 2. Do you think it's a lot of former, D1 teams that have sort of had that were previously, have hit a end of cycle, to sort of need a rebuild? Do you think we'll see potentially a few more of them going down to Division 2 and struggling, or do you think this might just be that these 3 teams are in a rebuild process and sort of, going to be likely in Division 3 in the next couple of seasons? Okay, right. So yeah, of course, as Aston Villa, obviously when I left, Nick Clyde took over, sold Gyökeres to me for Guirassy. IMG took them over, sold broke cap, lost Dybala to external. Then Davian took them over, made a lot of ballsy moves, got shot quite a bit when he first took over. And main one being involving Ucee, actually. Sold Coop Miners to Arsenal for Rashford. Now, Rashford is more like Trashford at the moment. And broke squad cap, and Rashford was the highest rated valued player. Or rated player, I can't remember which one it was at the time. So was sold to external, picked up by Liverpool. So yeah, he lost Cup Miners for nothing, basically. And seemingly it's probably been coming for Villa since with poor management, especially the last two managers. And yeah, I'd be interested to see how Davian does. Obviously, he knows he will make deals. Whether long term they're the right deals for the club and he can build them back up is another thing. And then finally, Ucee, who do you think will be the three teams that come up from Division 3? Yeah, I think he's lost me. Right. Let's let's put this on charge. Okay, so let's wrap this up by just having a brief overlook of MENA and Africa. So Elite Managers Game World, Middle East, North Africa. That is currently where are we at? We are currently towards the end of season 8. Just 4 games left of the season, and yet again, he's running away with it. Jabril with Al Shabab. Al Sadd sits second, so we'll qualify for the Champions Cup because Al Shabab won the. Yeah, so the call with me and Ucee dropped. I think Ucee was having some network issues. So briefly, we'll add this on towards the end of the original video clip recording. But in regards to Elite Managers Game World Middle East North Africa, Jabril is first with Al Shabab. Arjun is second with Al Sadd, currently in that league spot, winner's spot for the Champions Cup. Obviously, because Al Shabab are going to likely win 2 league titles on the trot. Beersheba sit third. Now, they're in a battle to really now for that final, that one of those 2 aggregate qualifier spots have been consistently good over 2 seasons. Neres Raja are 4th, Tunis is 5th, Beta Jerusalem is 6th. USM Algiers and Al Nassr in the drop zone. Now, the cup final is also on Tuesday, the MENA final, and that is between Al Sadd and Al Nassr. Both teams are provisionally qualified for the Cup Winners' Cup. However, I expect Al Sadd to make the Champions Cup, so that will go to another team on aggregate points. But Al Nassr are qualified for Cup Winners' Cup. Great for me. As for Division 2, Al Ahly are currently top. They've qualified for the Champions Cup already as the defending Champions Cup winners. Al Arabi, currently Saskid's club, they're in that D2 Champions Cup spot, just ahead of Bami's Maccabi Tel Aviv. Gift has 1 point all in 10 games with Al Ain, and Fizz is on 9 points in 7th. Gift is gifting points to everybody in EMG at the moment. 11 points with Villarreal, 9 points with Al Ain. As for Division 3, Jonesy is running away with the Division 3 title with Club African. Currently undefeated as well. Al Duhail sits second, Zamalek sits third. Nothing. Al Shabab Al Ahly, now managed by Sinan Tayem, who is in America's Africa, the Africa Game World. They are last overall with 4 points. And as for EMG Africa, currently we are 6 games into the season, and Pane's Orlando Pirates are top in Division 1, ahead of Hearts of Oak, Amazulu, and Mamelodi. Quite tight at the top. Division 2 is currently led by Arjun's Simba. They're ahead of Spice's Supersport and Lee Bowman's Stad Marlian. I sit 4th. And then finally, Division 3, AFC Leopards lead Aqua United with Bloemfontein Celtic in 3rd. And then the 3 other teams, Kaiser Chiefs, Esco and Al Hilal Omdurman, they're all on 10 points. And yeah, obviously Division 3, there's a few teams that are unmanaged. So, they're obviously going to be at the bottom. So yeah, overall, that is this week's EMG podcast. Hopefully we can get another one of these done in the next hopefully we get one of these done in the next couple of weeks now. Hopefully one of the next one of these will be done in the next couple of weeks, especially with the run up to the end of this season. And I wish everyone good luck for their next games and a happy new year. Hope 2025 is all everything as good as possible for you guys. And long live Elite Managers Game World.